to some of the weirdest cars that I've ever seen. So I'm here to tell you all about them. We've got the Venom from Hennessey, all the way from America. So I'm here in the Michelin Supercar Paddock to show you the cars that you need to know about, two of which have already gone past. So we've got the Roma, and we have the Eadon green Zeclat, or Zeclat. It's a Corvette C7. Yeah, you can recognise. Yeah, you can recognise that 6.2 litre V8 there. Next is the V6 McLaren Artura. Here we have a Koenigsegg Jesko. This one is the Absolut, so has less aero, but hopefully can reach speeds of over 300 miles per hour from its 5 litre V8 twin turbo. There's a P1, which is years old, and then the McLaren Speedtail, which isn't. So the 3-seated McLaren Speedtail with that long tail on its rear. That is followed by their 765 LT and 720S Golf Edition, celebrating their partnership with Golf. Zenvo have got one of their TSRSs, finished in red, and Schmid's purple ones behind the crowd. And then another 3-seater, the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. That naturally aspirated V12, providing all the sounds we could ever want. Oh my god! Someone's making a lot of noise. We've got the brand new Porsche Cayman GT4 RS, and Maserati have brought along their beautiful MC20, as well as the new convertible variant, finished in a very unusual colour. Looks like the kind of film you see on wrapping paper. We have the Manthey Racing GT2 RS, and next, finished in ruby stone, we've got the new 992 GT3, and now the Rimac Nevera, a Croatian car, the second car they've made, a gorgeous shade of turquoise. And Aston Martin are still showing off their DB11 despite it being a few years old now. And we've got the V8 Vantage Roadster, this one the F1 edition with a spoiler and all sorts of splitters and canards. And now the new V12 Vantage, this one with a spoiler, but you can spec them without, and I would recommend without. But the car that we want to see from Aston Martin is the Valkyrie. This one is full carbon fibre with their Aston Martin yellow or green details, followed by the Speedster, and then the DBS Superleggera, which is about to run over my toes. You'll notice the helmets are in the helmet carriers, but the helmets they're using are not in the helmet carriers because they need to use them. And here we go, the Bugatti Chiron 300, a 300 miles per hour capable car. We've added aero, a longer tail and nose for better downforce at speed, full carbon fibre with the orange details, much like all of the road record editions, with the guy who drove it over 300s. And some revolutions for you guys. A homage to the Bugatti EB110 Supersport there. Talking of Supersports, here is a Veyron Supersport. This is the world record edition as well. So we've got matching spec Bugattis, full carbon and orange, and the world record convertible should be coming soon. Here it is, the Vitesse WRC world record convertible was the fastest ever convertible production car. What a trio! Full carbon, orange, world record editions, and Andy Wallace up front. And next to show itself is the McLaren P1 with its long tail from Lanzante. Another beautiful creation, beautiful British creation with the Bugattis and the TAG 911. Here we have the AMG Project One with its 1.6 litre V6 from Formula One and 4 electric motors. What an absolutely incredible lineup, and a man wearing blue, and oh, there's too many people. Oh, the AMG Track Series doesn't have as good a turn of circle as the Black Series. Or a reverse gear? Maybe it does, just hard to engage. Here comes the AMG GT Track Series, parking next to the AMG Project One. This is the debut. This is the first time the general public have seen this driving and heard it. Sounds a bit like a bread machine. So a few straddlers left behind. Huracan's Huracan Evo as well, and the Lamborghini Aventador Ultime. I don't think the green Evija is going out on track, unfortunately, but here it is in the paddock. And joining the Jeskos, we have a Koenigsegg Regera as well. The There's actually about 6 or 7 of these here this weekend. And one car I hope to see on track but doesn't appear to be moving is the Delage D12. So this is one of my top 15 that I'm going to discuss in the video. Delage was a French manufacturer, as you can tell by the French racing blue and flag. And they used to make vintage cars, pre-war cars up until the 1950s. And they've made a comeback with this hypercar, which is a 2-seater. So you straddle your mate if you're sat in the passenger seat. It's basically a single-seater car with space for not a very large person, and probably, I don't think a lot of females would fit in there either, if you know what I mean. But this, despite its looks, is road legal and has a 7.6 litre hybrid V12 with 1100 horsepower. And if you want one, it will set you back $2.3 million. So have a look at that cockpit, like a true Formula One car. And carbon fibre bucket seats. It is wild. Anyway, let's have a look at the cars as they get ready to go. Someone's just starting up a noisy bike, which I don't care about. From their sessions, we've got the Pagani Huayra R. Whoa! Ah yes, the Zeclat, the Corvette C7, McLaren Speedtail, and behind that we've got the Jesko Absolut, the Bugatti Chiron 300, and then the Zenvo TSRS. And behind the AMG Track Series, the Mind the beer! Behind the AMG Project One, we have another car in my top 15, the Czinger 21C. This is a hybrid V8 with a near 1-to-1 power to weight ratio with 1200 horsepower. It holds a production car lap around Laguna Seca, being an American car, 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. Oh, the Michelin man's there. There he is. Ah, the 599XX there as well. Aston Martin Valkyrie with its wobbly doors. There he goes. And then the 812 Competizione. Koenigsegg Regera next up with its golden details. Is he going to provide some revolutions for us? I hope so. Oh no, he's flexing. Yes. That's the party trick of the Regera. Is he going to drive down the road like that? Let's hope so. There you go. And then the Hennessey, which I think looks fantastic. Sounds fantastic as well. Hennessey Venom V5, another 300-mile-an-hour capable car, providing some pops and bangs for the Michelin man. And the Bentley's got a boo-boo. Oh, that must have only recently happened. Well, we've got the Radford. This takes inspiration from the 60s Lotus Type 62. It's got a 3.5-litre supercharged V6, similar to the Emiras. And it used to be in Lotus Evija S. But I said I'd show you the top 15. We've had the Delage so far, so let me show you the rest of the cars that you need to know in the hypercar enclosure within the Supercar Paddock of Goodwood. So this is number 2, and it's been abandoned here. It's the Czinger 21C. As I said earlier, it's got a hybrid V8, 1,233 horsepower, and a near 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. Its top speed is 253 miles per hour, so matches that of the Veyron, and much like the Delage, it's a two-seater, but I think there's no rear seat there, so it's actually a single-seater today. This American road legal hypercar is about to get reversed back into its bay, and that's why it's been abandoned. Do we reckon we're going to hear it? So it is a hybrid, so it can run on electric motors. I'm hoping to hear the V8 as it reverses back. There you go! Hybrid V8. So a rather underwhelming sound for 1200 horsepower, but that is the Czinger 21C, the second car that you need to know at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Well, we've now got a demonstration of it running on electric motors, which is the most boring spectator sport ever. He's about to run over the chock there. He's run over the chock there, RIP. See that? Noise. Noise is what it's all about. That was a burnout. Whereas we've got no noise here to keep the neighbours happy. You'll notice it's got carbon fibre wheels, although the majority of the cars here probably do as well. It is a bit of a trend here to have the central driving position. We have the Delage, now the Czinger, the Speedtail and the Gordon Murray T50. It shot out from underneath the car due to the immense torque of the electric motors. Did you see that? So back into the Supercar Paddock, and number 3 is the Rimac Nevera from Croatia, the second car that they have created, fully electric this time, and a man walking in front of the camera. This car has just shy of 2,000 horsepower, 1,914 to be precise, and 0 to 60 apparently takes 1.85 seconds, and they are claiming it to be the quickest car in the world. Number 4 is of course the Gordon Murray Automotive T50 from Gordon Murray, designer of the McLaren F1. It shares many elements of the F1, including that central driving position. Even the windscreen and bonnet are very similar to the F1. You can see the design cues and how it has been inspired by the F1. So it's a modern interpretation, but still has a manual gearbox. This car kind of follows from where the F1 left off. It weighs under a ton, which is incredible for a hypercar. It's got a naturally aspirated V12 with 654 horsepower at 11,500 RPM. And they've actually got a second car that they've made that's not here today, but who knows, maybe there's more coming. And number 5 is a little bit different. This is a British car, retro styling, starts to look like a 1930s vehicle in the way that it swoops around, but although it's British, it's actually a Corvette C7. Even the interior is very similar to the C7. So it has that 6.2 litre V8 that we heard earlier with 460 brake horsepower. And number 6, we come back to the Hennessey Venom, a car capable of over 300 miles per hour, finished in dark blue with some tan interior. In the middle, it's got a 6.6 litre twin-turbo V8 with 1,817 horsepower, an American brute with no hybrids power. And number 7 is the Koenigsegg Jesko. So we have the Jesko here in orange and the Jesko Absolut. And the Absolut is the one that is capable of over 300 again, due to the lack of aero providing too much downforce to get to that speed. So despite this looking not quite as wild as the other one, this one is the Absolut. So much carbon involved. This is a replacement for the Koenigsegg Agera, and I think they look stunning. It's named after Christian Koenigsegg's father, Jesko, and they have 5 litre twin-turbo V8s with 1,600 horsepower. And number 8 is not actually a road-legal car. This is the Pagani Huayra R, and unlike other Huayras, this is naturally aspirated, so it sounds incredible. So much carbon going on. It's got the 6 litre naturally aspirated V12, 850 horsepower, and a 9,000 RPM redline. And each one of these non-road legal cars will set you back 2.6 million euros. And number 9 is the very limited run Ferrari Daytona SP3. So limited that they have 2 here today, one in red and one in yellow. It's a homage to the 24-hour Daytona race and looks back to many of the older Ferrari models. You can see a lot of the inspiration in the curves and slats around the design of the car. It's a non-hybrid, naturally aspirated V12 with 829 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.85 seconds. But as for design, this is one of my favourites of the show. And for number 10, we come to the incredibly quirky Hispano Suiza Carmen. That's how it is spelled if you have a look. From 2019, this is a fully electric car and it's sold as a luxury EV. So you can see its wooden dash as they're doing some electronic software stuff inside. It's got 1,099 horsepower. It's a Spanish EV, twin motor and rear wheel drive, hence the rear covers over the wheels. So 0 to 60 should be under 2 seconds. So that's an interesting thing, as well as the styling, which I'm still not quite sold on personally. But you can see various luxurious details, as well as the wooden dash. We've got the leather interior and then the chrome grille on the front of the car. And number 11 is this Radford 62-2, another look back to cars of previous years, inspired by the Lotus Type 62, hence the 62 in its name. It's got a 3.5 litre supercharged V6 shared with the Emira. A man walks in front of me, and there are various models ranging from 430 and 600 horsepower. This particular one looks stunning in burgundy. They have a John Player special one as well, and though you might not be able to tell, but this started life as a Lotus Evija S. And number 12 just has to be the Bugatti Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus, a tweaked Bugatti Chiron made to reach over 300 miles per hour, with extended bodywork from the originals for better downforce and 1,600 horsepower. That's 100 more than the standard Chiron. And number 13 is the AMG Project One. After a 5-year wait, it is finally here with its 1.6 litre V6 from Formula One cars and quad electric motors, providing 1,063 horsepower. 0 to 60 is just 2.9 seconds, and they're only creating 275 of these, so it's going to be rare to see one, but these are going to be an F1 car for the road. To save weight, they've airbrushed the Mercedes badge on the front end of the car, satin carbon fibre through the air ducting. These raise up as well in the aero mode, so a lot of active aerodynamics have been brought over from Formula One as well. Number 14 has to be the Aston Martin Valkyrie. This one finished in full carbon fibre. In the middle, it's got a 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12 with 1,000 horsepower and red lines at 11,000 RPM as a man in green walked. Oh, he's from Aston Martin, he's excused. What's crazy is this car is also road legal. We're going to see these, not very frequently, but we're going to see these on the road, and they're going to sound incredible. You're going to have to be very friendly with your passenger if you're going to take one on board. And finally, purely because it's British, we have the fully electric Lotus Evija with 4 electric motors, one of them at each wheel, providing almost 2,000 horsepower. So 0 to 60 is of course under 3 seconds, and its top speed is of course over 200 miles an hour. Not 300 miles an hour, because I don't think an electric car has quite got to that stage, but take a look at those air ducts around the back. Look, it just goes. The rear lights, if you're wondering, is the outline of the air ducting there. That's the rear light. It's got the Lotus badge there, and I believe that's where you plug it in to charge it up, being a fully electric car. So that is my top 15 hypercars that you must know about from the Goodwood Festival of Speed. So let me know if you agree with my top 15. We got to see most of them drive towards the hill climb, but of course there are so many more to look at, including ones that I don't even know. Please let me know in the comments if you know what this is. It's definitely a concept car, because things like the door just wouldn't work in the real world. But you can tell it's just been styled by Pininfarina. It may even be one of Pininfarina's own cars, because they have started producing cars themselves, but I'll be honest, I don't recognise this one. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Hit that bell when you subscribe, because there's going to be far more videos from the Festival of Speed, including more from the Supercar Paddock, but of course there are so much more to look at, including modified cars. Follow me on Instagram for the updates and highlights and pictures that I take. I took so many today, but for now, thanks for watching. Welcome to the post-credits scene and the bonus number 16 of the video, the new Pagani Huayra Codalunga. Only 5 of these are going to be made to the value of £6 million. It's essentially a Pagani Huayra long tail. There's his long tail, there's Huayra, you've seen it. Congrats.